Hello viewers, today we have a Toastmaster. Um, Really we've kind of evolved on at this point from the Toastmaster Edison Thin Lights kind of morphing into these Toastmasters, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I didn't look up any date codes or anything like that, if I'm not mistaken, this is possibly late 80s, early 90s, really kind of like getting to the end of the line. I believe someone messaged me on or commented on one of my previous fan videos that Toastmaster was done in 96. So clearly, and I knew this wasn't as new as 96, but interesting story. I remember in the late 80s seeing this exact fan for sale in a local hardware store. And I was 10 years old at the time, and I had saved some money for a box fan. And I tell a similar story in another video I've done recently, and on an Eastern Electric fan. And I was in this hardware store, had saved my money to buy a box fan, even though I already had a box fan, and I wanted a new one. I wanted another one, not a new one, I should say. And the one I was using at that time was pretty good to begin with, as it was an older McGraw Edison fan. So this Toastmaster fan was there, as I was saying, but it was a few dollars more than its Eastern Electric counterpart. So this hardware store sold two different brand box fans. Where can you see that today? You typically walk into a store, it's a big box store or wherever, and it's just one brand. It's Lasco, it's Polonis, it's one of the others that's escaping me right now because they're really not that notable. So I walked away at the Eastern Electric as a little boy at 10 years old. You know, an extra $3 or $4 was a lot of money. And I ran that fan for a long time. This one, however, I have owned since, I want to say, 2008. And I saw it on Craigslist along with another Toastmaster, which I still have, separate video. The other Toastmaster is the one finished in gray with the gray blades. So it's really the same thing as this, except it's just gray, darker gray, which is, I think, is pretty cool. And what you'll note about this is the Toastmaster banana blades, or really the same blade sets that were in the Thin Lights that predate these. And when I got this one and I got the gray one, they were in rough shape. They were like left out for garbage. It was like, take them or they're just going to get picked up by the garbage. And all they really needed to be done was just to be serviced. That was it. And the grills, while not perfect, you can see some yellowing probably in this video, they weren't totally destroyed. There's some broken slats you can see at the bottom here. So I refer to this fan and the other fan as the Toastmaster Brothers because I got them at the same time, and I've had them since 2008. This one is actually in service. It's been in service for maybe 7 or 8 years. Light duty though. It was originally used kind of in the laundry area, and then it graduated to my daughter's bedroom. Unlike me, the second it gets warm out, I crank the windows open and throw the fan in the window. Her, on the other hand, it could be 90 degrees and she doesn't really use the fan. So it gets super light use with my daughter. And then really where it might get even a little more used than that, when the window air conditioners are thrown on, this is placed in the hallway to push the air down the hall from the rooms. So that's really it. Happy with this fan. This is, I think, the last of like a really good generation of fans. Yeah, the metal cabinet's thinner than even, it's wider than a Thin Light, I believe, but the actual thickness of the metal is, is more flimsy. These I feel can be fragile if you're not careful with them, but at the same time, they're solid, if that makes any sense. So we'll crank this one up. We'll give it a twist, see how it performs. I apologize for the wind in the camera. So what I think is great, so this is low. What I think is great is the handle on here is really the same handle as the Edison Thin Lights and Comfort fans, and they are known to rattle. So this is low. I always like these fans because the low is pretty powerful. Noise doesn't bother me as long as it performs, right? We all can fall asleep to a noisy box fan, right? Medium. Start to hear that handle rattle a little bit. You definitely hear rattle. Spin down. A tip that I give people who run these fans and the handle drives them crazy with the sound, you can either, if you have a stack of Post-its, you can kind of just gently put them here and it keeps it. Spin down is pretty good. And then, or you can take like a clean sock or something and just put it in here. That's what I have done. Even with it in the window, it will still rattle your brains. It's weird when I look at this because I'm so used to using Edison's that when I look at this, I have to do a double take because when I see through the fan to the back, I'm just used to that metal grill and to see plastic with the two support bars going down versus the motor being mounted into the grill. You know, still adjust to that. Even though this is the more common setup for fans over all the years. We'll just turn this around so you can see the back. Like its Edison cousins, or whatever you want to call it, the electrical cord comes out here versus coming down. The design doesn't really bother me. I always worry that it's a weak point on the Edison fans because it's right here where this is kind of protected going into the motor. And I believe this is really the same motor that was in those Edison fans. And those of you guys who are great with model numbers and different motors, awesome. Feel free to chime in the comments. I'll just crank it really quick on exhaust so you can see it. And the brother of this fan, the gray one, if you will, is actually in the location that we're in today. It's actually here. It's in the garage up on a shelf. And that I placed on that shelf in 2011. And it's set that when I flip on the power to some of the lights in there, it comes on automatically. The radio and the fan, it comes on low on the shelf. I've not touched it. It's almost like a game. It gets use when I'm out in the garage, and it's on low and it's off. It doesn't get high use. It's probably super dusty, but it's tough to tell because it's gray. Maybe what I will do is do a video on that. The part of me thinks, oh, I should just do the video leaving it up on the shelf so I can see how long I can go without moving that fan off that shelf. But then again, it probably could use a little cleaning and servicing. Anyway, please like my video, subscribe. I love communicating with other people who share this hobby. It's great to learn from one another. So please feel free to comment. I have a ton more box fan videos coming, as well as check out some of the ones that, check out my channel and check out some of the ones I've done to this point. Again, constructive criticism, comments, or information, love to hear it. Thanks for watching.